All right, we're just ahead of news at 9:41 on Thursday, the 24th of January, 2019. Please use risk capital you can afford to lose if you're playing this game. All right, the market looking to make a liar of me. I just said doubt that we're going to take out the lows ahead of news. Obviously, we've already talked about potential next support levels. Minor breakdown here. This 28, kind of a key idea for now. And theoretically, if you want to now move the boxes down, you can take this and say, okay, that's our next support box. This is our fighting box. And now, for now, this is our resistance. And this is on a weekly basis. We also can take a look and see this idea on a much larger scale, monthly and yearly so far. We're in this fighting box from that 17 support to this 47 area resistance. Just trying to keep it simple. So far, we've had a couple of thrusts down from the news event. Have not done any real technical damage, and my suggestion, make sure you are paid ahead of news. Anybody that wants to play the long side, 28 is the aggressive support that we decided before the market opened. That gets beat, then we've got to look back to the 25 and then 22s. And I said earlier today, it's possible we could take out both sides of the overnight range because it was so narrow. So far, we've got the longs washed out. And this is our 2-day range. We're in the core. We're in this 28 support from yesterday. Actually got the 38 resistance right now, basis this chart and range trading from the middle. This really helps as a visual to understand in a 2-day range. And sometimes it'll be lower low, but right now we know we're just trading inside yesterday's range. And the burden is on the longs that try to hang on here and keep this above the blue line. So far, we've just got tails. Sometimes the best offense is to drop it just a tad and then get the late shorts who say, okay, it's a breakout, and jump in, and then to squeeze back. Happens a lot. Reestablished an angel, right? And is profit taking ahead of news, I believe. Anybody that is sidelined, you can stay there a couple of minutes. Anybody that bought that 32 to 28 support zone, make sure you're paid by the gap. And the longs have already pushed it back 10 points. And my suggestion, paid for sure by the gap to 42. Just like that. We're not going that way. Never worry about the longs. They know how to take care of themselves. Until the end of last year. Pretty choppy, as expected. But a nice opening range. We said do not look for big moves right now. We're looking for range type trading. If you bought the 32s, you should not get shaken out with just a couple of points. We have suggested using 3 to 5 point stops for now. And a little bit larger, obviously, if you're at an end. This is one of the boys' favorite tricks. Just a minor break and then push it right back. We've gone from high to low. We've said theoretically you can hit a bounce if we take out the low. And I'm still going to consider this neutral. Got a lot of time left in the day. And when I get this type of a chop around this, I start to think, okay, there's no real direction, more of a range type trade, especially if you see a little megaphone pattern, lower lows and higher highs. So typically I expect range when I see this. And it's a profit taking swing. So do the math in your head, right? 10, 11 point swing, take 5.5 points back. So that means you get back to the 36 area. Make sure you're paid if you're shorting. You can do that in your head. Don't make this business complicated. You should be able to do basic math and help figure this stuff out on the fly. And obviously the widget helps us even more. And we said we're going to take this 38 plus or minus range trade. Anybody that's hitting this bounce, this is not necessarily for a new low. It's a profit-taking swing. This is what we call sequence trading. And my recommendation, if you're playing, is hit and run. Risk 2, make 2 or 3, get out of the way. So far, good defense by the longs. Marginal low. Somebody had asked me yesterday to please explain the lines on the chart. I could have all of these zones white. For convenience purpose, I've tried to show where I believe the support for the whatever zone it is, whatever time frame, the bottom box, higher resistance area at the top box. So color coded those. And then the middle I've color coded. And obviously this 45.12 or 45 and a quarter is the middle of that range. So the fighting range typically is going to be in this gray to blue box. And if we get underneath it, then we explore the next territory. And if we get through that, then the next, and then the next. And theoretically, I like to think of the market this way. Top of this box is a key idea, and the bottom of this box is a key idea for areas that are going to be resistance that need to hold, and if they don't, then they start to show they're going to threaten that that top. So for now, this 28.75, calling it 28, big idea to try to hold so that we don't come back and retest down into the 21 to 12 area. And obviously back here, still resistance is yesterday's high. If we get above that, then back in here in that 62 area is going to be the next key resistance. So that's the way I use this. And I'm trying to show step by step right now the steps that I think we are trying to resolve. Got 3 touches so far on that line. So could be forming a descending triangle, but we don't know. We still need more time. Like a flat bottom here and then the descending triangle. That's why I think today's an important day for the longs to try to break this pattern of lower highs and lower lows. And if not, so be it. We start to come backwards and test deeper support, which isn't a bad thing. So that's the use of these circles. I've recently started to do that to try to help you guys understand what I'm thinking. But the basic chart, obviously without the circles, is what we use. And then just take that idea and use it on every time frame that you're looking at. So the core right now today in the range is 39.75. Back here to this 36. This is the primary fighting range. And note how it's still kind of respecting that 38 as the middle, kind of plus or minus. So you not only have to take the beach ball and push it underwater, but you've got to keep it there. And if it bounces back up, then, 32 really isn't broken because we're minor excursions underneath it. Got to come down here and stay down here. So far, we've had thrust down, bounce, thrust down. And longs are still held captive by 42. Hit and run trading if you're playing. And for now, it looks like this 40 key resistance, 40 to 42, as we had posted earlier in the room. And realistically, 32s to 30 holding as support right now. News coming out. Recommended traders sidelines. And hit and run idea.